Okay, guys, first question for Heather.
Well, just obviously there must be disappointment there, but can you just sort of talk us through all your feelings and emotions now 5 days is up?
Yeah, there was certainly disappointment, but I think really proud of actually how the girls have gone about these 5 days. I think it's been a very entertaining test match, which has been great. Albeit we're on the losing side, I think the fact that we've had 5 days has led to the great cricket that we've had. But yeah, just proud of how we've set out to try and entertain and inspire. And I was just thinking back to the spell that Lauren bowled before lunch yesterday, and how just had a little moment to kind of look around and the crowd getting really engaged, and just that was at this moment I was like, oh, can I bottle this? This is awesome, and that's kind of what we want to do as a team. We want to get people watching Test cricket. We want to get people excited about women's cricket, and I think that moment kind of made me realise actually we've done our job here. But obviously disappointment. There's a couple of sessions that we could have done a lot better. Day 3 and day 4, the evening sessions there that probably cost us the game. But I think the way we've gone toe-to-toe with the Australians and really put them under pressure at times, I've been really proud of how the girls have done that, and I don't think we've taken a backward step throughout this test. But yeah, ultimately disappointed obviously of being on the losing side. And
what was the plan this morning? Were you genuinely believing that you could get that target?
Definitely. We're probably underdogs with the wickets that we lost last night, but we thought we could do something special, and we wanted to continue to go about it how we had. And I thought Danny was brilliant. If she had someone that was able to stick with her and get a big partnership together, I think we definitely would have been in with a chance. And to be honest, coming off the field, having bowled them out for 257, we would have bit your arm off to have that. And I thought the bowlers really got us back in the game yesterday after a disappointing start to our second bowling innings. I thought they really grafted, stuck to a simple plan, and obviously Sophie does Sophie things and makes things happen. So yeah, obviously disappointed, but we go again come Saturday.
Hi Heather. That session you alluded to there, where they got away to a good start, I think it was the third evening. I mean, what do you put that down to? Is that maybe lack of experience bowling with the Red Dukes, or fatigue? What do you think it was?
I think maybe we were a little bit too aggressive, if I'm honest. It's a pitch that when you kept things simple and bowled straight at the stumps and set quite straight fields, then like you have quite a lot of success. Obviously with the new ball you're looking to take wickets, and probably I'll take a bit of responsibility for that as well, probably being a little bit too aggressive, and we just weren't able to execute as consistently as we'd like. But I think the way the bowlers came back the day after was outstanding. Kate Cross in particular bowling long spells the next day with the dislocated thumb, and giving that control and being able to execute a really simple plan was great.
And obviously Trent Bridge in general has this sort of reputation of being a bit of a seamer's ground, but obviously we saw, especially the back end here, Gardner bowling very good off spin on a pitch that was doing a little bit for spinners. I mean, I know you said at the toss that you would have bowled first, but do you think in hindsight we wished to have been bowling today?
I'm not too sure really. I think Ash bowled very well, but I think a lot of her wickets were probably beating players on the outside edge, to be honest. She didn't spin a huge amount. Obviously the ball that I got turned and kept a bit low, and I think if you bowled straight on this wicket as seamers, like there was a bit of variable bounce, but you expect that after 5 days. I still think if we batted a little bit better, obviously the top order, we lost a lot of those wickets last night. I think if we batted a bit better, we felt like we could chase that total down. But it was quite dry. Like I obviously haven't played here before, but all the feedback was around it stays pretty flat and doesn't deteriorate and definitely doesn't spin. So it was slightly different. I think we wanted a little bit more carry and grass from the first day, and when your nicks aren't carrying on day one and it isn't carrying through to the keeper consistently, that's not ideal. But ultimately we made it a very entertaining test match, which yeah, I guess taking the pitch out of it, that's a success, I guess.
Hi Heather, just talking about like those couple of sessions you were talking about where maybe the game got away from you slightly, is it encouraging that you were kind of just maybe 1 or 2 sessions away from beating what's obviously been a really dominant team, or does that almost make it even more frustrating that you were that close?
No, I think I'm really proud of how the girls performed in this test match. We definitely went toe-to-toe with them, and we really put them under pressure at times, which is what we set out to do this summer. We certainly didn't take a backward step, and we kept going, trying to go at them and have some success against them. But yeah, it happens sometimes, and I think test match cricket is changes so fast. Like, that's why it's so great. Like, the bowlers toil for the first 2 days and hardly take any wickets, and then after the first 3 days, and then there's 15 wickets in a day, which is pretty mad. And I think it's just the mental side of it as well, learning how quickly test matches can change, and when you do have an opportunity, really grasping it and really hammering it home. But yeah, unfortunately, we couldn't keep that pressure on consistently. But I think the fact that we went toe-to-toe with them for most of the game is definitely a positive.
And just building on what you said about the game development, it feels like the decision to have a 5-day test was really vindicated.
Yeah, 100%. We were saying last night, like, if it was 4 days, it probably would have pitted out and not been as entertaining as it was. And I think the fact that there were 2 really big scores in the first innings meant that if it was a 4-day test, it probably would have happened. And I think despite being on the losing side, Kate Cross actually joked to me at the end, should have been a 4-day test, which was pretty funny from her. But yeah, I think the fact that it was 5 days, I think, has vindicated the choice to do that. And when we play test matches so rarely, to allow it to come to a conclusion, obviously probably wasn't exciting as we were hoped, and we didn't get as close as we'd like. But yeah, I think 5 days is a really positive step for women's test match cricket.
And just lastly from me, I know it's still very raw, but have you got any kind of key improvements or changes in your head right now for the white ball games coming up?
We play red ball cricket so rarely, I think it's quite hard to transfer it into white ball. I think the main thing will be getting our mentality right, coming back again. At Edgbaston, it's a format we've played a hell of a lot of cricket, particularly recently with the World Cups and things. So it's a format that we know very well and we play very well. So yeah, we'll just park it, and obviously we've got quite an uphill battle, but I think if we continue to play the way we want to and put the Australians under pressure through how we play, I think, yeah, it's going to be good to get to T20 cricket. I'm sure the bowlers are a bit happy to only have sort of 4 overs to bowl.
I will go Scott, then Raf. Thank you.
I know we've spoken a bit about day 5, but should it just be a given now that in any test match it is 5 days, in particular the Ashes test in Australia in about 18 months from now? Yeah,
I think so. I don't know whose decision it is, but I think the fact that we've been able to see Tammy get 200, Sutherland get 100 batting at 8, Sophie Eccleston get 2 fifers and Ash get an 8-fer. They're really truly special performances that we might not have seen if it wasn't over 5 days. It means if you play 4, you really have to try and manufacture a result, and I don't think the game gets the credit it deserves if that happens. So yeah, I'd love to see 5 days, but that's a decision that's well above my head, I'm afraid.
And is there genuine belief that you guys can still regain the Ashes? Obviously now you have to win 4 of 6. Is that right? No, sorry, you need to win 5 of 6, to regain them. Is there genuine belief that can be done? Yeah,
I think we have to, of course. We'll not look too far ahead. I think when you look at it like that, it is tricky mentally, but you have to look at the first game, and that'll be at Edgbaston on Saturday. So yeah, we won't be looking too far ahead of that.
Thank you. Thank you. Any more? Colin?
Hi there. Obviously, lots of history made over the last few days, not least that it was 5 days in a ground with so much Test history. Were you tapping into that as a group, the history that is all around this place?
I think it's an iconic ground in this country, isn't it? And I think the girls were certainly aware of that when we came, and just, I think hearing the crowd was a really special part of this Test match, and just having them behind us throughout those 5 days was special. And yeah, it's a ground that I've never played at before, actually. A lot of the youngsters in the team was saying, oh, we've got all the grounds before you have, as an old veteran, I think was the word. But yeah, it's been a cool place to play. Like, there's obviously a lot of Test match cricket history here as well in the men's game. And yeah, we're delighted to bring a little part of our women's history to the ground.
Speaking of that history, it feels like a long time ago now, but Tammy's innings, that was really special, wasn't it, for that to happen here where she plays a domestic cricket?
Yeah, really special. I'm hoping she'll be on some sort of honours board here at Trent Bridge, as will Sophie and Ash. But yeah, it was really special, obviously a historic moment. I think the fact that it's been 5 days allowed her the chance to score that big score. And just the resilience. I think she's had quite a tricky sort of year, 2 years actually, and she's probably one of the most resilient people that I know. She's a gritty bugger that keeps coming back and keeps sort of putting her name forward as one of the greats of the game. So to see her do that and have the skill and the resilience of how she went about it, and it was a special day for her, having a family here and a partner, Callum, as well. So yeah, it was certainly special and a really good positive for us from the last 5 days.
Perfect. Cheers.
Hi Heather. Do you have any kind of personal reflections on, you were super clear going into the test match, you wanted to play aggressive cricket and that was kind of going to be the mantra of the team, and now looking back on 5 days, I think you were saying day 3 we were probably a bit too aggressive, and that's kind of somewhere which has cost the match. In terms of like tailoring that level of aggression and how to go about it, do you have any kind of own personal reflections on that?
I think I wouldn't change too much, to be honest. Like, I think we probably just didn't execute how we wanted to, if we're brutally honest. Like, you want to set aggressive fields to the new ball, particularly because that's a really key time with the red ball trying to take wickets, and the Duke didn't actually swing for as much as we would have liked. It was pretty abrasive out there, and it hasn't swung as much throughout the innings that we've got it to in practice games. So yeah, if you nip a couple because you've got quite aggressive fields, that kind of validates it. But unfortunately, we didn't quite deliver. But I still think the mentality that we have is a really good place for us as a team to be. I think it brings the best out of a lot of players, and I think it's about finding the sweet spot for every player, which will be slightly different in how they do things. But I don't think I would change a huge amount, no.
Perfect. Any more questions for Heather?
Sorry, I can hear you. It's all good.
I was just going to say, there was some confusion on the first day about the Duke's ball, the sort of embossing on it being a bit different on the second one as the first one. What happened during the rest of the game? Was it the balls you expected to get, basically?
Yeah, I think they spoke to Dukes, and they were exactly the same balls, just a different sticker. So yeah, it wasn't really an issue. The balls were pretty much the same throughout.
Thanks.
Yeah, sorry, I did want to ask about, you talked about going again on Saturday. Sophie was so defiant last night, talking about belief. I mean, just how important is that going to be over the next few days? So many positives to take, but also people are going to be knackered, and it's going to be disappointing.
Yeah, test match cricket's tough. There'll certainly be some tired bodies in both change rooms mentally, I think, as well. And I think being able to decompress and let things go is really important in my experience. I think probably the test match in Canberra in the last Ashes actually took quite a lot out of us as a side, and I think COVID bubbles had a little bit to do with that as well. But I think we'll learn from that quite a lot. The fact that we have to turn things around quite quickly, and it can't be too much of a momentum shifter. So yeah, we'll have a couple of days off. Sophie will go play some golf, I imagine, and enjoy herself. But we'll regroup again Thursday afternoon and focus on that T20.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.